Little birdie update. They're getting pretty big. Should a couple of days I think they're going to start doing their little practice flights. Alright, I just got back. A friend of mine gave me a call. His VW bus, he took it to work today because it was a nice day, and he started getting kind of noisy and clacking and rattling. He was afraid that he was in the process of blowing it up, so he gave me a call. I went over and I have a bus tow bar, and I took the tow bar, hooked it up. While I was there, I had him start it up and listen to it, and I ended up popping a valve cover off. Generally number 3 cylinder is the one cylinder that's always kind of noisy. It has the issues as to when it runs hot. So I popped that valve cover off just to kind of see if there's anything going on with the drivetrain. And there is. So I put the valve cover back on. Let's see if we can kind of get you zoomed in a little bit. And camera. There you go. Let's go pop that off. I'm going to wheel around the other side. I'll show you what I found. This motor's not that old. I did the top end on it, oh, I don't know, 2 years ago, something like that. So what I noticed was, you guys can see it, that's not too good. It looks like the valve actually, the spring fell apart. And now hopefully it didn't take out the valve or bend the valve or stuff itself into the head or drop the valve. I'm not quite sure. So we're going to go pop this off right here and see if it did do anything. Gotta make sure that I don't push that valve back in there too. So, if the valve is okay, I'm going to try to come up with something that I could put a new valve spring on it and a keepers, and do it right on the motor. You can tell by looking at this head that this motor is not very old. It previously had a problem with the carburetor that was causing it to run real lean. And it was causing it to overheat. Figured out what that problem was. Here's screwdriver. Doesn't look like it bent the push rod. This right here is what we're concerned about. I've never seen that ever happen before. The springs just kind of disintegrated themselves. The valve itself actually feels good. It already spit out one of the keepers somewhere. At least we can get a little magnet, see if we can go pick that out of there. So it could be a fairly easy fix, or it could involve pulling the motor and pulling the head and doing all that kind of stuff. One magnet. I'm looking for a better one. There we go. And this motor is completely stock. It doesn't have any high lift rockers or anything in it, so I've actually never seen this happen before. One thing I should be doing right now, and I'm not. We're going to be careful once we get this apart. Is you want to make sure that that piston is top dead center, so that the valve doesn't fall into the chamber, because once you do that, you're definitely screwed. Well, let's see if you can grab the tip of that valve, hold it out. So that I can push the it. I wonder if it may have made a ridge on the top of the valve. That should be able to push back right now. It's not. Yeah, I have a feeling that's what happened. I may have to cut that sucker off of there. Yeah, I have a feeling it damaged that, either the edge of that valve's got a little bit of damage on it, or the retainer does. Because that right now, that retainer should be able to walk backwards. Yep, there it goes. Excellent. Not quite sure what you guys can see. Alright, see if we can do this without knocking the valve straight back. Well, that spring broke in 3 places. That's some shit, huh? That's weird. Like it's like it was deformed or something in the center. Because if you look at the center, they're wider what they are there. So I'm not quite sure how this decided to fail. That looks like that. Like that. So, in any event, that's what the failure is. So, I want to be damn sure I don't let this valve go in and get pushed. Now, normally you have a C-clamp that can come around the back of the motor, back of the cylinder head, and grab the back of the valve and hold that off, and you got a spring compressor that pushes down. So, for the amount of time that it's going to take to pull the motor and pull the head, we're going to do our best to try to come up with a solution to fix this problem right on there. I'm going to come up with some kind of jig that allows me to push down on the spring and see if I can get that back on there, get the retainers back on there, and see if this motor has compression. I'm looking right now at the length of this valve compared to these, and it's on the same plane. If this valve was pushed in a little bit further, I'd say definitely I have a bent valve, but I do not think that's the case here. We're looking pretty good. It feels good on rotating it. So, why that spring broke, I don't know. All that stuff again is new on a cylinder head. I believe there were Brazilian cylinder heads that he had purchased. I don't know if there are rebuilds or not. Trying to look at the numbers that are on it. That's a VW casting. It's got the VW Audi symbol on it. But again, you never know what parts we'll put in there. So I do have an old cylinder head. And I will be stealing the parts off of that. I actually brought it with me because I actually thought that what the problem may have been was, let me zoom me back out again. I thought what would probably happen, because he said it sounded like it was valve train noise, is sometimes these clips break and you'll see the whole rocker will just kind of walk to the side, and now it's pushing on the side of the valve. But again, I've never seen that happen before. So especially on a stock motor, I can see if it, again, as I said before, if it had it ratio rockers or something on it. But no. So I'm going to shut you down. I just kind of wanted to show you that, and see if we can get Mike's bus back together for him, and on the cheaper side without pulling the motor. And if I come up with a jig, I'll see if I can go film that. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Take care.